Well, it's springtime and we're getting ready for more houses to come on the market. It's the real estate show. Welcome to the Real Estate Show. My name is Rick Naples. I am the owner-broker of Zone Realty LLC. You zone your home. And I'm filming today from my office in Plainville, Connecticut. Spring is finally here. Well, it's trying to be here. What does spring bring us when it comes to the real estate market? Well, we know that the season changes, so the weather gets warmer. We start to see the trees start to bud and flowers start to come up. We all change our clocks, to spring ahead, as they say. But it's also that time of year where a lot more houses come up for sale. So if you're a seller and you're looking to put your home on the market, there are some things that you should do to prepare to do that. You have to remember that during the spring, everybody has the same idea. It's nice to put a house on the market when the weather is better, buyers are more abundant, and you're going to find that you're going to be in company of a lot of other houses that are on. So, let's talk about the inside of the house. Take a walk around the inside of your house and take a look. There's a lot of things that we kind of overlook over time because we live in the house and we don't really notice things. Things as such as maybe things being a little messier than they normally are because we do have lives to live. Maybe there's some painting that needs to be done or some repair projects that you can get to, but you kind of put off. I remember living in a house for many years where the front door screen was broken. It had a little hole in the corner. And I kept saying to myself, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to fix that. And I never really got around to it because it really didn't bother me. But again, if the house were going on the market, that's something a buyer's going to notice. And probably because it was on the front door, the first thing they're going to see. And it's amazing how those little things will change the impression of the overall condition of the house. So what are some of the things that you can do? Well, I hate to sound like a broken record, but I've said it many, many times on the Real Estate Show. One of the things you need to do is clean. Clean everything. I'm going to show a presentation in a few seconds here that I was going to go over some ideas on some of the things you should pay attention to, but cleaning is very important. First of all, cleaning makes everything look nice and new. When you take the time to clean up those little dust bunnies that are under the couch or wipe out off the shelves or, dust in general. There are some other things that you need to clean that you may not think of. When spring cleaning comes up, everybody cleans their houses. You can now open the windows and air out the house and do your vacuuming and wash the floors and all those kinds of things. But when your house goes on the market, there's some additional cleaning things that a lot of people don't think of. For instance, how many people clean inside their closet? Well, the closet is there for storage or hold your clothes or whatever. You don't really look at the closet 100% of the time. But closets do tend to get dirty. So I always recommend that you empty out the closet, and you take a look, and you clean it up a little bit. You want to also organize it. You have to remember that buyers are very curious. When they come into your house to look, they're going to open doors. They're going to look in cabinets. They want to peek in a drawer. They want to peek in the closets. Not because they're being nosy of your stuff, but they're trying to see, does this house offer storage needs that I have? Will my wardrobe fit in these closet spaces? Will my pots and pans be able to be put away in this kitchen? So the more organized and clean that you can make those things that you don't physically see all the time, the better. One of the other things that you should spend a lot of time cleaning is appliances. Now, somebody says to me, I use my appliances every day. Why? And, I clean them once in a while. Why do I need to make sure they're so clean when my house goes on the market? Well, buyers are looking for things that will deter them from wanting to make a full price offer. So if they open your oven door and the oven is filthy inside, or the burners or the top of the stove are dirty, and it looks like they've been used to their lifetime, they're going to think, well, now I'm going to have to replace the stove. Same thing with the dishwasher and the refrigerator and any other appliances that you have. So you want to take a good idea to clean those, deep clean them, make sure that they're okay. Taking a fresh look at the home is another idea. When I say fresh look, I mean things like, having a friend come over and smell. See if there's any smells in the house that might be a deterrent to a buyer, especially if those cooking smells have been lingering along a while. When you're cleaning everything, you want to make sure that you're also taking a look at anything that might be dark. And what I mean by dark is those dark corners in the house. Sometimes adding another light or adding, opening up a window, cleaning those windows, by the way, will add some light to make those dark corners look brighter. And there's also the technique of moving your furniture around to better highlight some of the aspects of the room. That's something you can talk to a realtor about. Refreshing also includes painting. If you haven't painted in a while, you might want to repaint just to freshen things up. Use neutral colors on the house because, again, you don't want to have a buyer look at something and say, oh, I'm going to have to fix that or I'm going to have to repaint that. You want to give it a fresh look. You can also add some fresh decorations around the house. And what I mean by that is you might want to freshen some flowers up here and there or make sure that the house plants are in good condition. Take off the things that are around the house that are very personal type items. I always like to talk about the refrigerator in the house. Some of us put all those magnets on the refrigerator and, pictures on the refrigerator and grandchild or your child's drawing on the refrigerator, those kinds of things. Take all that stuff off. You want the buyer to be able to come into the kitchen and see nice, big, clear counters that are clean and organized and be able to see the appliances without any of those obstructions. Here's that little presentation that I put together that talks about spring cleaning and some of the inside things you should do. So we talked about some of the things you can do in the inside of the house for your spring cleaning ideas. But what about the outside of the house? There's a thing in real estate that we call curb appeal. And this is basically what the potential buyer will see as they're approaching the house. In the springtime, a lot of houses come on the market. So a lot of time before people will make an appointment to actually go into the house to take a look, they'll do what's called drive-bys. They drive into the neighborhood and kind of look at the house and see what the streets around look like and what the neighbors' houses look like to get a general sense of the area. So it's really important that you make a really good impression with your house when it comes on the market. So outside cleaning is just as important as the inside cleaning. Now, what do I mean by outside cleaning? You want to make sure that you have a presence. In other words, your house looks approachable, it looks welcoming. You don't want to have any clutter in the front yard. You want to get rid of maybe some of those lawn decorations that you've kind of just, I'm going to get to type attitude. Get those out of the way. Go through the trees and the bushes and the flowers and the mulch and the sidewalks and the driveway and all that kind of stuff and make sure they're all in decent looking condition. I'm not saying replace all those things, but I mean, if you have a bush that unfortunately didn't survive the winter, you might want to take that out and replace it with a fresh one. If you have, for instance, a tree that has a dead branch or maybe even a branch that's fallen off from the winter time, you want to clean that up. You want to look at your driveway, make sure that that driveway is clear and looking good. You know, some of the older driveways, if you can't afford to replace the driveway, sometimes just putting a little driveway seal on it will clean it up a little bit. Even taking a hose and washing down the driveway will make it look a lot better than just having sand and dirt on it left over from the winter time. Your lawn. Make sure your lawn is mowed, especially when you know you're going to be showing on a weekend. You want to make sure that you've mowed your lawn in such a way where it looks attractive. One of the landscaping techniques that I learned many, many years ago is instead of mowing the lawn in straight lines, to mow the lawn on an angle. This will make the yard look bigger, so I've been told, but it also gives a little bit of a classic look when you mow those things on an angle back and forth. Walkways, make sure that you brush and clear them, blow them off if you need to, so that there's no encumberness when being able to walk up and into the home. And also your front door. The front door is your welcoming to the home. That's the door that you want to use as the main entrance when people are going to come and take a look at the house. And that door you want to make sure is presenting itself the best way it possibly can. Sometimes just cleaning it, other times repainting it is the best idea. And make sure there's nothing in the way of that front door. I once showed a house many years ago where the owner had potted plants on the front steps. And it looked very nice. Unfortunately, they were kind of overcoming the front door. You kind of had to watch the way you were entering into the house so that you didn't knock over a potted plant. So things like that you want to pay attention to. Simple little thing that sounds silly, make sure the doorbell works. That's one of those little fix-it type things that we tend to not pay attention to. I've had buyers, they're just curious to see what the doorbell sounds like, and they'll push the doorbell as they're going to enter into the house. So, you know, little details. Some of the other things that you want to do is the backyard. Take a look at your backyard. Does the backyard look welcoming? If you happen to be fortunate enough to have a swimming pool in the backyard, or perhaps a patio, or even a sunroom or something like that that juts out into the backyard, make sure those are all clean and orderly and up to date. Again, you're looking for ways to present everything to a buyer in its best light so that the buyer isn't imprinting, oh, I've got to fix this, oh, I've got to do that. Unless, of course, you're selling the house as an as-is type property. As-is simply means what you see is what you get. In other words, you can't afford or you haven't had the time or whatever to do the repairs that need to be done. So you want to make the buyer aware that you've priced the house in such a way to sell it as it is. Now, I talked earlier in the show about spring cleaning the inside of the house, so I want to address windows. It's easy to clean your windows on the inside, but don't forget the windows on the outside. You want to make sure that there's a lot of natural light that can come into the home. So if you have an overgrown tree or something like that that's in the front of the house that's blocking light from getting into the window, you might want to consider trimming those back. View is really important to a buyer. You want to be able to open up your windows and see outside. And it doesn't really matter what the location of the house is or if that view is a good view or bad view. They want to be able to see the outside. That's for peace of mind, that's for enjoyment, that's for security, and so on and so forth. So maybe take a walk around your house with your realtor or take a walk around with a friend that you trust and kind of eyeball the things outside that you might want to attend to when it comes to getting ready to put your home on the market. Now, I put together a presentation that talks about outside spring cleaning, so let's take a look at that. I've been a realtor for many, many years now, and sometimes I'm asked by prospective sellers, why would I want to put my house on the spring? I mean, in the spring, isn't there a lot of competition, or should I wait to make sure I've done all this spring cleaning that you've recommended and all this outside cleaning that you recommended before I put the house on the market? Well, spring traditionally is the best time to sell a home. Doesn't mean that other times during the year are not good times. It just means that spring historically has always presented itself as the best time. And there's reasons behind that. The weather is warmer, so people tend to come out more often. The days are longer. In other words, daylight tends to hang around well past 6 p.m. Sometimes people don't have time to go looking for houses on the weekends. Maybe their weekends are dedicated to their volunteerism or families or whatever it might be. And they prefer to look at homes in the evening. And because it's lighter, longer outside, they can now come and take a look at houses after work. That's another advantage of spring. One of the other things that happens during the springtime is you have a lot of houses that start to come on the market. So buyers start to come out more so in the springtime than they do any other time of the year. There's more houses for them to look at. So when you put your house on the market, there's more chances of buyers coming to take a look at it. Now, competition is a little bit harder when it comes in the spring because of those number of houses that are coming on. So this all relates to making your house stand out. You can make your house stand out by the way you price it or by the way you present it. Presenting it, the simple things to do, the most inexpensive things to do are to just do spring cleaning. buyers tend to spend more time looking for a home in the spring than they do any other time of the year. There's an old saying in real estate that says, it's not convenient, it's not nice to move during cold weather. If anyone in their history of buying a house has ever tried to move when it's cold outside, especially here in New England or on a snowy day, you know how miserable that can be. So moving in the spring is usually a good time to make your move. And some people even want to choose timing it where they can look at the houses that come on in the springtime so that their closing's in the early summer, and maybe timing it if they have children when the kids are out of school so they can do their move and make it convenient without having to deal with school schedules and sports schedules and all that kind of stuff. Springtime presents opportunity. Now, there is a big mistake that is made during the spring by someone that's looking to put their house on the market. I guess the best way to word that is say it's procrastination. It's the idea of, I will put the home on the market once I finish my spring cleaning, both inside and out. I don't want to go on the market until the house is ready to be presented. I don't want to go on the market until I've had a chance to repair that screen. I don't want to go on the market. I don't want to go on the market just yet. Well, there's a big problem with that because the spring season is a very short selling season. And a lot of houses come on the market and a lot of buyers come out. So if you hesitate, you procrastinate, you wait until you get this done or have done that, you might lose on that opportunity to have that specific buyer come into your home and decide to buy it. You're going to lose the momentum. So here's what I advise. I advise that you start your spring cleaning, your inside and out, and put your house on the market right away. You can work on those things while your house is on the market. You're not going to have a situation where buyers are in the house every second of every day all week long. They make appointments. You'll know when they're coming. So there's a lot of off time that you have to do these things you need to do. And if there's a situation where, let's talk about the front door, that hole in the screen door like I was mentioning on a house that I own, you can make a note that that's being repaired. You can make a note to let the realtor know that that's being attended to, so that if the buyer sees it, they know you're going to fix it. But you know your house, you've been living in it. You know the things that need to be tended to, that need to be fixed. You know the things that have regular maintenance on them, like the air conditioning systems and the furnaces and so on and so forth. You know the condition of your roof. You know the condition of your gutters. You want to make sure that your garage door is opening and closing correctly. That doors open and close, and windows open and close, and closets open and close, and all those kinds of things. So sometimes you want to be your own home inspector and go through the house thoroughly. You'll find that if you don't wait, you put your house right away, you do the spring cleaning both inside and out, you're going to generate yourself more dollars in a potential sale. My name is Rick Naples, and this has been The Real Estate Show. I thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Riverview Apartments is Bristol's two-time beautification award-winning residence community for adults age 55 and older. They offer 1 or 2 bedroom apartments with modern appliances, air conditioning, wall-to-wall carpet, and tiled floors. Both heat and hot water are included. Riverview also offers a wide range of activity rooms that include a billiard parlor and a spacious community room. It is handicap accessible with safe, secure parking for tenants and ample off-street parking for visitors. 860-940-6757 or riverviewbristol.com.